Welcome to the Back Music Work Talk in Central Texas, Fridays at 1 p.m. Brought to you by the Austin Federation of Musicians and with the Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee. The Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee are members of the Austin Federation of Musicians, Local 433 of the American Federation of Musicians, aka the Musicians Union. Some of us work as contractor 1099 workers, and others work as employee W-2 workers in various aspects of the music industry.
The goal of this session is to share our experiences, including trials and tribulations related to the Texas Workforce Commission, or TWC, with other musicians in the state of Texas to aid in navigating the TWC application process. We are not experts in unemployment assistance. We are musicians.
The information contained herein does not constitute either legal advice or an official pronouncement of the musicians, but rather is only the personal opinions of the panelists. The panelists do not give legal advice or make official rulings on agency matters, should not be cited as authorities in any matter before the agency or when dealing with agency staff about a case, and must minimize their involvement with administrative processes. They also do not give legal advice on any other matter, and any information they should give should not be used as a basis for taking any employment-related action. Before taking any employment action that could adversely affect an employee, or before using any sample form or policy you may obtain from this group, you should consult a licensed private sector employment law attorney of your choice. All right, welcome to the Get Back for January 28th, 2022. I'm Aaron, and Russell is joining us. Hello, Russell.
Hi.
Yeah. We always start with the links at the bottom to our local union website for the Austin Federation of Musicians, which is the local chapter of the American Federation of Musicians, which is the union for musicians in the United States and Canada. Still the largest entertainment union in the world. Yeah.
And the best.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. It has the links to our local website and other sort of music industry recovery related things as far as recovering from the COVID pandemic. And that's still kind of our main topic. We always tend to start with those links, and then also beverages. I'm doing good old coffee as usual.
Good old spring water as usual.
Man, so consistent. Remarkable. Man, if Mark was here, I bet he would have some green tea.
I bet he would.
We wish him safe travels. He's doing some pretty major travel
That's right.
for work this week, but God bless.
He's on the boat.
I think there is a boat involved, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some floating involved.
Yes, indeed. God bless. Yes, indeed, man. Yeah, so we wish him a safe return, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
We want him
man.
to come back the way he left.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Good health.
And with more money than when he left.
With the pocket full.
That's always our wish as well with the union, of course, with everybody. So, yeah, man, right on. Okay, well, we'll probably have kind of a short session today, but there is some big stuff happening. Maybe we should start at the local level, I suppose, with it's called the Austin Music Disaster Relief Grant. It ends today. The application period ends today at 5 p.m. So that's just a little under 4 hours from now. But the good news is it doesn't seem to take a lot of time. I've looked at the application, but I haven't done it yet myself. Have you looked at it?
I have not seen it.
I know we covered it last week, and Mark had done it, so thank you for doing that, Mark. And we talked to a lot of other musicians that called the union office and wanted some help with completing it, and it looked like most of the musicians, by the time we were able to get a hold of them, because musicians are always hard to get a hold of it. Yeah, they were already done. So that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. And it's a limited thing. It's only what, $2,000 at the maximum. So it's
limited in terms of location.
Oh yes, yeah, it has to be. Thank you. Yeah, it has to be the Austin. What did they call that? The let's see. Eligible. That's it. Austin Round Rock Metropolitan Statistical Area, which I think that might be the first time I've heard that, but seems like I've heard that before. But so it has includes Travis County, Williamson County, Hayes County, Bastrop County, and Caldwell counties. So yeah, Caldwell County. So yeah, so it's those 5 counties. So that of course our jurisdiction for the union, the local is larger than that. So, but if you're in one of those counties, you might want to just put in that application and see what happens, because it seems like there's definitely some money there. And as we know, it's not just musicians that live in the city of Austin. People from all the surrounding counties work as musicians in the city of Austin all the time. Even during the pandemic, we've been doing that. So, yeah.
And if you need the help, don't wait.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and of course that's it's a limited amount of help, but every little chunk counts, and that's a decent chunk. So yeah, spend a few minutes. Because there's only less than 4 hours left, but it's definitely doable. It seems pretty reasonable as far as the documentation that's required. So yeah, cool, man. Well, what else should we move on? Anything else about the grant?
No, but I do have something else real quick.
Yeah.
The election cycle has started. And it would behoove you to go and get this card and get it filled out so that you can get registered to vote. Not telling you who to vote for, just telling you to get registered to vote. What that does is prevents all the gerrymandering because you are now legally able to vote.
Yeah.
And you have that number that you can use to get mail-in ballots and all these things that they try to stop you from getting with these cards.
Yes, when you're talking about a voter registration card, rather than just relying on your driver's license at the poll, pull out the card, and then that erases all doubt. Yeah, yep, yeah. And there's a lot of doubt right now because of these legislations that have happened, these new laws. Yeah, yeah. That's an excellent point.
This doesn't really look like you. But this says I am, and you can scan it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, pretty much. Yeah, that and a photo ID, I think, are pretty much unassailable, right?
It's a wrap. Yep.
Yeah.
Undisputable. It's a wrap.
Yep. And if you're concerned, you should be concerned. But this is what you can do about it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it doesn't take long. It takes like 4 or 5 minutes. You fill it out. And they mail you the card, and you're good to go.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
And not only do they mail you the card, but now your address is on file, so there's no question that you live there. So when you go to the poll, and they, is this where you live? Yes, it is, because you sent me the card. You know it is. Here's a validation. So,
yep.
It's a way to really kind of circumvent all of the chicanery that
that is possible now.
Yeah,
is more possible now than it was 6 months ago. So,
So like I said, we're not telling you who to vote for, just telling you to be prepared to vote.
Yeah, well, this is a great opportunity to kind of reiterate, the whole union thing. I mean, the union does endorse. We don't endorse political parties, but we endorse candidates, and we endorse certain motions. And ballot initiatives and things like that are beneficial to our business, to the music business. But we don't tell you who to vote for. We just we endorse things if our union comes together and votes to endorse something, then a union might endorse those things. But we don't never endorse a whole party. And we never tell you who to vote for, but we do expect, if you're a union member, you do need to be registered to vote, and you do need to vote. There's really no way around that. You are expected to be politically engaged, because it's important for our business.
And this keeps you from being on the sideline.
Yes, yeah, for being sidelined. I mean, that's
exactly.
the most brutal thing when you show up ready to participate and get denied because of some technicality. Then you're less likely to try it again, and that's not good. We don't want that to happen to anybody.
And every vote counts.
Yeah, especially if you're in the union. I mean, it's really arguable if you're in the union, your vote counts more because you're voting as a union member as well as a private citizen. So, yeah, get out there and vote. Yeah. Yeah, but do this ahead of time, and yeah, you're far less likely to get messed with, or interfered with. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to keep up with the rules, so you know what they are, so that when you get to the polls, there's no nonsense. You're ready.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, let's not forget to talk about that. Probably every week this year. It's an important year, and we're getting into the time of the year when that this is going to be happening now through the fall, really. So right on. Okay. Well, let's see, what else do we got. We've got. I guess we could talk about. Well, I guess we could talk about the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
That was big news this week. One of the justices, the liberal leaning justices on the Supreme Court, is retiring. That in and of itself is not a great thing, but it's good because hopefully we can get an appointment in on sort of the more labor friendly side.
Sure.
Before the non-labor friendly side has a chance to take over again in the fall if they succeed in doing that. And of course, the historic thing is that the president has made this campaign promise. What do you think about that?
Well, in some ways, it bothers me because he's going to discriminate against one for another. They are pushing this justice out. Age discrimination. They want him out because, they feel like they can't hold the majority long enough, and they want to, appoint an African American, and I get that, and I want that very bad. But at the same token, I kind of see, what happens when they do this again, when they need to move someone else, because the Supreme Court is about, timing and age, and we need to get this guy out of here so we can get somebody young in, because they sit there for it's a lifetime appointment.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's an opportunity where we can get someone in there now that can be there for the next, 50 years.
Potentially, yeah. But that's absolutely a great point, man. I hadn't really even thought of that dimension, the age discrimination dimension, because it really had, like, for over a year, they've really kind of been pressuring this guy to retire, right?
Yeah.
For this reason.
Oh, they've been driving up with trucks and banners, miles of time, to get out of here. And, I just think, how would I feel if, I went to work and I saw that, we got this young hotshot bass player and,
Right.
you need to go. We need to get this guy in here because the only thing about it is just, you're old and this guy's young. And so, you kind of see that and
Yeah. Now, one major thing about that is that I would feel a lot better about that if the old bass player had the kind of retirement that a Supreme Court justice had set up. I would feel a lot better about that in that case.
He's going to be taken care of for the rest of his life.
But at least at the current moment, that isn't the case for a lot of musicians. So, that could be a real problem.
Yeah. So I want to see an African American and I'll even say it. The last election cycle, I voted for all females,
I remember you said that. Yeah.
and boy, you should see the looks of people's faces like when I said that. Like, you did what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like males have ruined this country. It's time for them, the women, to have their go at it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I want badly for there to be an African American female on the court.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still mindful of how that guy has to feel because it's age discrimination. At some point, being an older male, what happens? It happens to me. How am I going to feel?
Yeah. It stinks a little bit. Yeah. Of that. Yeah. And yep.
And since he was basically targeted, like, well, this guy's the oldest one. Let's go get him.
Well, and they have gone out of their way this week, of course, to say like, oh, this is his decision, and we're not pressuring him. But that's exactly why they're doing that, because they see it too. Yeah, yeah, that's an excellent point. Oh man, yeah. But on your point about electing females, I mean that there is research, from the pandemic, that the countries that had female executive officers have done much better in the pandemic than countries that have male executive officers.
Yeah, the studies, the research is there.
I mean, it's astounding.
It's not in my head. It's not. It's there.
And not by a little bit, but it's a lot. But they're doing a lot better. So, yeah, that speaks volumes right there. And that's a very astute position that you took even in the last election cycle. So, yeah.
So.
Man.
I don't know. What's your thoughts about that?
Man, well, I think of course, it's well past time to have a black woman on the court, and I mean, I was just astonished, like at the candidates that they've been talking about already, are really amazing women.
Major powerhouses, like any of them.
I mean, they right away, the first three that I've heard about are just like, holy cow, like. That sounds amazing, and I can't see how anyone would have a problem with any of those three, as far as the Senate confirming them. So I think that's great, because that's always been the thing, with the Republicans really do a good job of having candidates ready for court appointments. I mean they're just churning them out, and so it was really good to see that, that those candidates are they're ready to go and they're super qualified, and yeah.
Well, President Obama had a qualified candidate. Merrick Garland would have been a great Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
Just that, the Senate, well, not the Senate, the guy in charge decided to make up some sort of rule that only he knew about. Well, it would it wouldn't be prudent to have a hearing for a guy that only has a year left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's complete nonsense.
Yeah, no, and it would have been completely outrageous if the Senate hadn't already been basically blocking every single other thing that the Obama administration tried to do.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of blended in with all the other stuff. But that was completely outrageous and out of line.
But this guy has impeccable credentials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no way he should not have been a Supreme Court justice, other than the fact that they didn't want him to be.
Well, he's the Attorney General now, so now they got to deal with him there. So, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. Oh, man. Yep. So, gosh. Well, so that's encouraging, and we're watching to see what happens there. I guess the news has reported that the Biden administration wants to move really fast with this, which I think is a good move, because that's the Republicans they did that. They moved really fast with all kinds of court appointments. In the previous.
Andy Barrett, they're like, here she is.
Yeah.
She's on.
Boom. Yeah. So. I think that's what's necessary. Excuse me. So yeah,
they didn't drag her through the mud like they did Kavanaugh, but
yeah. Oh man. Well, on the national scene, as long as we're up on the national scene here, there's been a new effort with all the entertainment unions, and we've been talking about this already all last year. But there's the Performing Artists Tax Parity Act. Of course, is very topical right now because it's tax season again. Welcome back to tax season, and it's it's time to sort of remind ourselves that we lost a lot of write-offs, a lot of expenses, so the ability to write off a lot of our very legitimate expenses as artists under the Trump tax reform bill, and a lot of them are going into effect this year for the first time. Again, we had new ones last year. We have new ones this year, and artists are going to be paying more in taxes that we really don't owe because our expenses are outrageous, and our income it does not match the expenses a lot of times, and so
it's going to hurt.
It's difficult to match. So this tax parity act, the Performing Artists Tax Parity Act, is extremely important. It's bipartisan. It has bipartisan support. It has support from all of the entertainment unions, and we're talking about us, the AFM. We're talking about the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA. We're talking about Actors Equity. We're talking about AGMA. All the different entertainment unions. I hope I didn't leave any of them out, but there's there's a whole bunch of us out there. And IATSE, I said IATSE, didn't I? Yeah, the Stagehands Union. Super important. So we'll put that in the chat again. It's on our website. There's I think it's the same letter writing campaign, but now it's being endorsed by all of the entertainment unions as well as the AFL-CIO, and it's a letter writing campaign that makes it really easy to write a letter to your representatives. You just put your address in, and it automatically figures out who your representatives are in the House and in the Senate. It's in both the House and the Senate now. So it has bill numbers for both of those. There's a new sponsor. Who is that? The Stage Directors and Choreographers Society. So even like the ballet companies and everything are in there. Everybody supports this because
It affects everybody.
All the performing artists have lost a bunch of write-offs and are having to pay a lot more taxes that we don't owe, and that is going to hurt our business a lot. And that's really starting right now, right? We're getting all those 1099s are coming in and W-2s and everything else, man. And
Hurting that bottom line.
yes, yeah. So, it's on everyone's mind right now. Write your representatives while you're thinking about it, and while you're doing your taxes this year, because that's when you're going to see it. So we'll put that in there. We're going to talk about it at the next general membership meeting. We'll probably have some sort of presentation about it. We might even vote to endorse it and send a letter to it as a local union, because that helps too, and we're in a unique position here in Austin because, we're in the capital of Texas. So a lot of times when we write letters to representatives, we just do it to all the representatives of all of Texas because they think, oh, Austin, that's the capital of Texas. Okay, great. And so we can sometimes get, add a little more leverage on to the other locals in Texas by just blanketing all of the Texas representatives. And
it used to be really good before the pandemic, but you could just go down there and hand deliver from.
Oh my God!
But now you can't get in the Capitol now.
Yep. Yeah, you can't get anywhere. I mean,
you're right. You can't.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, I can't come here.
Yep. Yeah, you can't. You definitely can't surprise them. You can make an appointment, but it's booked out, right? And
you can assure that they won't be there.
Yeah. They're going to book it at a time when they're not there, right? Yeah.
You can make an appointment, but you can be guaranteed. They won't be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it here on the desk. I'll make sure they get it.
I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to do that again, especially with you, because you're a master doing that. So, yeah, we got to do that.
I've heard that so many. Oh yeah, you can. I'll wait.
Yeah. Oh, he's in a meeting right now. Oh, I'll wait. Yeah. I
Well,
got to
let me
be a
see the
get.
representative's book since
Yeah.
he really works for me. Let me see his calendar.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, and then you're like, well, I got
They
to be
get
at work
touchy when you
in.
ask for that.
I got to be at work in 7 hours. So yeah.
Well, my gig's not till 9, so
Oh
I'll wait.
man. Yeah, man. Right on. So, anyway, the that's the Performing Artist Tax Parity Act. Let people know you support it because you do.
Please, yes, you do.
Yeah. Gosh,
If
what
you've gone
else?
to any show that you've seen that you liked and the
Woo.
musicians make you happy, you support that act.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's just basic things like guitar strings and music stands and stuff like that are more difficult to write off now, and those are legitimate expenses that we have to buy all the time in order to
Costs money.
keep the show going. The show must go on.
Hmm.
And yeah. So, gosh, yeah. All right, should we move on? The other national topic that sort of the elephant in the room
Yeah,
is the
the
Russia and the
big one.
Ukraine here, and what will happen with that? What are you hearing on that, brother?
Well, you know, when they start talking about exercises and that kind of stuff, you don't get really worried about that because every country does that. We get with this country, we have exercises, but they don't go right up to the borders and do exercises.
Hmm.
And they don't announce that they're bringing in tanks and there's planes and you can see them and there's Stinger missiles and and then the other side responds by saying, okay, we're bringing in anti-tank weapons and we're bringing in other troops and they're not advisors.
Hmm.
That means they're combat soldiers.
Hmm.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
That's not a NATO country, but NATO is pretty well kind of backed into a corner that says, we have to defend them
Hmm.
and we're going to defend them. And so now you have other NATO allies saying, okay, like the British guys are saying, okay, we're going to be sending in, anti this and anti that. And, that's going to be ground zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's going to lose face.
Hmm.
Somebody's not going to have that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary, man.
It is scary.
It's so touchy right now too because there's so much of Europe depends on Russian natural gas to heat their homes
Mhm.
right now, and that's what's going through that pipeline into Germany and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
people talk about, oh, we should just shut down that pipeline, but then all kinds of people in Europe are going to freeze to death,
Yeah.
and the money that's lost on the Russian side is only to the rich people in Russia. That doesn't affect the rest of the population at all. So it's
And
it's
they
an
said
upside down thing.
we'll just lay down sanctions. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
And plus, you have those exercises, and it just takes one rogue commander to do something silly, and next thing you know, so this is something that it's not good.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're talking about some small nation that is not nuclear armed.
Hmm.
They are.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's true.
this is not good.
Yeah. It's definitely, yeah, we have to keep an eye on it. I mean, this is another reason to contact your representatives in Congress too. Let them know how you feel about it. Um, we don't want a war. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think that's true across the board, right? I mean, yikes. But it's scary because they talk about, like you said, they talk about sanctions, but it's very difficult to sanction Russia because the sanctions only hurt the folks that are the wealthy part of the country, right? The rest of the country is a lot more self-sufficient. And yeah, it's difficult, man.
Yeah, and what are you going to do? Is you're going to force, an unholy alliance with them and the Chinese? I mean, they're going to turn to somebody for help.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I mean, it's the we can't abandon the Ukraine either, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I mean, that's what I say. Something has to give.
hmm
Somebody has to lose face in this.
yeah. Oh man. Well, we're gonna keep an eye on that, and yeah. What about local news with Omicron? I mean, I've heard people make reference in the last week to seeing the peak of Omicron in Austin, but I haven't actually seen any official news that we've actually peaked here in Austin. I don't know.
I understand it to be the opposite. Like Texas is not doing well at all.
It's still going
You
up.
know,
Yeah.
our emergency room usage is all but at a peak. We're all but full,
hmm
and that's not good.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's really the canary in the coal mine. That number is really
Yeah.
how we know when we're going to be in trouble when we're out of emergency room beds, because that affects everyone else for any other ailment or
hmm
emergency or sickness or accident. Um, so yeah, and that is, yeah. I think the numbers are still rising there.
And we're still at stage 5. We haven't gone down.
No, no, we can't. Yeah, until those numbers go down, and
Yeah.
they're still going up. So I think we're hearing from other parts of the country, and that's kind of confusing folks. Like I think New York is now the numbers are going down,
hmm
but they started peaking earlier than we did. And
Yeah.
so some of those bigger cities on the coasts maybe are starting, maybe are beyond the peak. But yeah, I think we haven't peaked here yet. So yeah, be careful out there, and yeah, wear your mask, and yeah, get your vaccine, and yeah,
Yeah,
yikes.
and you're starting to know people who have this and have been careless and are not doing well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's pretty frightening. I mean, this is not something to laugh at or
Mm.
make light of. This stuff kills people.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly if you play, for the music business. I mean, if you play an instrument that uses your lungs, if you use
hmm
wind, or if you're a vocalist, it's particularly dangerous. I worry about our brothers and sisters that do that. Yeah, I do that to an extent as well, and so it's a scary thing when that's part of your instrument, is affected by this, you know. So thank goodness. I mean, the weather's been pretty good. There've been some
hmm
opportunities for some outdoor gigs. That's still the safest gig, and the audiences are very comfortable with outdoor stuff when the weather is mostly tolerable, right? So we're very blessed with that. You know, I've been hearing about our brothers and sisters in the northern climes, doing outdoor gigs in the snow just because that's where they can do them, and
Did you just hear where that gig just where the bridge just fell down in Pittsburgh or someplace
oh no, I didn't
because
see
of the
that.
snow?
Oh no.
Yeah, a bridge collapsed because that's just no, thank you,
Yeah, we're very blessed that that kind of thing
thank you,
doesn't usually
no.
happen down here. Let's hope we don't have another
Yeah,
snowpocalypse this year,
yeah,
but
we don't need that.
no. Yeah, but we are seeing, gigs. I'm hearing of gigs getting canceled. I've had gigs get canceled because of either either like the staff of the venue. There's too
Or
much
sick. Yeah.
infections and they can't open, or the staff of the musical, group can't field a musical group because of COVID infection or something. Even with substitutes, they're just not able to do it. So. All the more reason to be as vigilant as you possibly can, and even if you don't feel like there's a reason to wear a mask, there
Please
might
do.
be, yeah, there might be, and yeah, it's not like a people talk about virtue signaling or something. It's not a virtue signaling thing. It's doing everything you can to keep working. That's really what we're dealing with here now. As far as our own personal health, we can't. We have less control over other folks, but that we can just do what we can. So yeah, stay healthy out there, and yes, indeed, yeah. So
Because you matter.
yeah, you do. Yeah, I'm actually not to mention specifics on the air, but I'm playing the same venue that I saw you at a couple weeks ago tomorrow night, and I'll be doing exactly the same thing you were doing. I'm just going to mask up and stay on the stage if that's what I got to do, and it's indoors, but there is adequate ventilation, but there is also a tendency for a lot of dancers to show up, and so we'll be extra careful if that happens, and because we want them
corner over there with
we want them to we want them to come. We want them to come out. I mean, but we want everybody to be as safe as they can too. So, all right. Well, any other topics we should bring up before we go?
I think that's it. Other than the city's website is still the money for the rent relief is still not there yet.
Yep. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, because that's super important. Yeah.
Although that is supposed to be coming back, but it's just not there yet.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, it could be very important. Could be life saving for folks. So, yeah, if you need rent help, it's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's not back yet. So, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, if you're watching and in the music business, don't give up. We can get through this together with solidarity and sharing information. And as we recover from this thing, now's the time to do your business better and join a union, use union contracts, because together we do better and we can build back better and everything else. So, all right, well, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us, Russell, and thank you for joining us on the internet. So take care.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, indeed.